Welcome to Luna Whisper. I'll be your storyteller tonight, the voice you hear when the room gets too quiet. Before we begin, like this video and subscribe, so you never miss the things that follow you after midnight. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from, and what time it is, and if there's a story you want next. Don't be shy. The shadows are listening. So, let me take you to a place you probably never thought twice about. A store you walk into without thinking anything weird could happen. A simple, cheap, everyday Dollar Tree. But trust me, things that look the cheapest sometimes hide the most expensive price. This story starts with Mia, a college girl who worked night shift at a Dollar Tree near the highway. Nothing special, nothing glamorous, just a quiet store. Too quiet sometimes. That Thursday night, the manager told her, "Close alone today. I gotta leave early. You'll be fine." Yeah, that sentence aged like spoiled milk. Around 10:20 p.m., Mia noticed something small. A single green shopping basket, placed in the middle of aisle 7. Perfectly centered, like someone put it there on purpose. But nobody had entered the store for almost an hour. She didn't freak out. Not yet. She just sighed and pushed the basket back to its place. Except, when she turned around, there was another basket in the exact same spot. Same angle, same position, same quiet aisle. Maya whispered, "Okay, that's weird, but whatever." But deep down, she could feel the air get heavier, like the whole store suddenly noticed her, and then she heard it. A faint, soft tapping, like someone gently knocking their nails on the metal shelves. One tap, then another, slow, steady, like it knew she was listening. Her phone vibrated. A text from an unknown number. "Don't move, it's behind the baskets." Mia froze. She could feel something warm breathing behind her. But the security cameras showed nobody. And that was just the beginning. Mia didn't turn around. Yeah, she wasn't stupid. Horror movies already taught her that lesson for free. But the breathing behind her, it got closer, slow, warm, like someone leaning inches from her neck. She stepped forward carefully, trying not to make a sound. Her hands were shaking so bad, she almost dropped her phone. Then the tapping started again. Not from the shelf this time. From the ceiling. Tap, tap, tap. Like something was crawling above her, following her steps. She whispered, "Okay, chill. Maybe it's just a rat." But she knew that was Cap. Dollar Tree rats don't text people. The unknown number messaged again. "Aisle 3, don't run." Mia's brain was fighting itself. Half of her wanted to yeet herself out of the store. The other half didn't want to look dumb and tell her manager she got scared by a basket. But something in that text felt like a warning, not a threat. She walked toward aisle 3. The lights above started flickering, like they were nervous too. Aisle 3 was the toy section. Cheap dolls, rubber balls, plastic trucks. Nothing dangerous. At least, that's what she thought. Until she noticed all the dolls' heads were turned toward her. Every single one. Rows of $1 dolls staring at her with those cheap painted eyes, their plastic faces cracked like they were smiling too wide. Mia whispered, "Nah, nope, not doing this." She stepped back, and every doll's head slowly turned to follow her movement. Then one doll fell off the shelf by itself, landed right at her feet, and its voice box crackled in a glitchy, broken tone. "Stay with us." The lights went out, pitch black. Something small grabbed her ankle. Mia kicked her leg on instinct, because sorry, whatever grabbed her ankle was not getting a free ride. She stumbled backward, hands shaking. trying to pull out her phone for light. The screen finally lit up. And honestly, she kinda wished it didn't. The doll that fell earlier wasn't on the floor anymore. It was standing on its tiny plastic feet, like a toddler learning to walk. Its head slowly tilted, making that cracky plastic sound. And in the glow of her phone, it whispered, "Don't leave. The others get lonely." Nah, absolutely not. Maya took a step back, and something behind her moved too, like multiple somethings. Soft plastic footsteps scraping against tile. She swung her phone around, and her stomach dropped. The dolls from the shelves were no longer on the shelves. Dozens of them stood in the aisle, blocking both exits. Cheap dollar store toys, staring like they were waiting for her to mess up. Her phone buzzed again. Same unknown number. "Don't let them touch you. Go to the storeroom." Mia whispered under her breath, "I swear, if this is some prank." But then one doll twitched, its fingers extended. Way too long. Stretchy, like melted plastic. It swiped toward her ankle again, missing by inches. She ran. Not cute jogging, not horror movie half-run, half-trip. She sprinted. The dolls scrambled after her, their plastic hands slapping the floor, their heads bouncing like broken bobbleheads. One of them crawled on the wall, another on the ceiling. Dollar Tree physics apparently stopped existing. She burst through the back door into the storeroom, slammed it shut, and pushed a metal cart against it. The tapping came again, dozens of tiny hands knocking from the other side. Then, silence, for 3 seconds, and then her phone lit up once more. "Look under the table." Mia slowly turned her head. There was a table in the corner, and someone was hiding under it. Mia didn't want to look, obviously. Every part of her soul was screaming, "Girl, leave it alone." But curiosity, yeah, that thing stays undefeated. She pointed her phone flashlight at the table, slowly crouched down, and saw a man curled up underneath. He looked around, mid-40s, wearing a ripped Dollar Tree uniform from an older design, like from years ago. His eyes were wide, red, terrified. But he wasn't looking at Mia. He was staring at the door behind her, still waiting for something to come through. Mia whispered, Who are you?" The man put a finger to his lips. "Shh. They listen, always." His voice was dry, like he hadn't spoken to a human in forever. Mia whispered again, "Did you text me?" He shook his head so fast his teeth chattered. "No, I don't have a phone. They took mine." She felt her stomach drop. Then, "Who's texting me?" He swallowed hard, then leaned closer. "Mia, how long have you been working here?" 3 months. His face twisted, like she'd just told him her funeral date. 3 months. That means you're next. Mia took a step back. Next for what? The man crawled out slightly, hands trembling. They don't just move on their own. They're not toys. They're trapped people, employees who disappeared, customers who stayed too long. He pointed at the storeroom door. That aisle of dolls, that's the newest batch. Mia felt her blood freeze. "No, that's impossible." He shook his head. "It's Dollar Tree. Everything's cheap except the price you pay to leave." Then the metal cart against the door vibrated. Not gently, like something slammed it from the other side. Hard. The man's face drained. "They found me." Another slam. The cart slid an inch. The man grabbed Mia's wrist. "Listen to me carefully. If they drag you out, your body stays here, but your soul becomes one of them. Plastic, forever watching, forever hunting." Slam. The cart shifted again. The man whispered, panicked, "Mia, they want you specifically." Her phone buzzed. A message popped up. "Turn around." Mia froze, like every muscle in her body clocked out at the same time. She didn't turn around, not yet, not when something literally told her to. The man under the table hissed, "Don't listen. They mess with your head. They lie." Her phone buzzed again. "We're behind you." Another buzz. "Don't make us wait, Mia." Yeah, she definitely wasn't turning around. The storeroom door rattled harder now, tiny plastic fists pounding like a swarm of angry insects, the metal cart scraping inch by inch across the floor. Whatever was outside was determined. The man grabbed her arm again, desperate. "Listen, there's a way out of this store. A real exit. Not the front door. They control that. You need the basement hatch." Mia blinked at him. "Basement? This store has a basement?" He nodded quickly. "Every Dollar Tree does, but they pretend it doesn't. Corporate would fire us if we even mentioned it." She whispered, "What's in the basement?" He lowered his voice to a shaky whisper. "Freedom, or something worse." Before she could ask more, the lights in the storeroom flickered. Not the normal flicker. This one felt intentional, like someone was turning the power on and off, slowly, almost playfully. The man's breath quickened. They're close. When the lights start acting like this, it means they're inside the walls. Mia felt a cold sensation on her neck. Not air, not breath, more like static. Her phone buzzed a third time. She didn't want to look, but her eyes moved anyway. "Mia, sweet girl, we just want to see your face." The man suddenly grabbed her phone and threw it across the room. "Stop looking at it. They track you through the screen." Mia gasped, "Hey!" But before she could finish, the storeroom door caved inward, leaving a curved dent, like something head-butted it. Then, from the other side, a tiny, giggly voice whispered, "Maya, open the door. We brought you a new basket." Mia's knees almost gave out. "Nope, I'm done. Absolutely not." The man pointed to a trap door in the corner she hadn't noticed earlier. Small, metal, rusted, half covered by old boxes. "There, the basement hatch. If we want to live, we go now." The storeroom door split. Plastic fingers poked through the crack. Mia made a run for the hatch, but the man yanked her back. "Wait, don't open it yet. They can smell movement." Smell movement? That didn't even make sense, but honestly she wasn't in a place to argue. The storeroom door cracked again, this time wider. A tiny plastic hand slipped through the gap, bending at an angle no doll joint should ever bend. The fingers scratched the floor, dragging themselves forward like they were searching for her. The man whispered, "Okay. Now." Quietly. They shoved the boxes aside and pulled the hatch open. A wave of cold air rushed up, wet, moldy, like something had been rotting down there a long time. The man began climbing down the ladder first. "Hurry, Mia." She followed, careful not to make noise. But halfway down the ladder, her foot slipped. The wooden rung cracked, loud enough that even Mia winced. Above them, all the tapping and whispering stopped. Complete silence. Mia froze mid-ladder. The man whispered, "They heard that." A second later, the storeroom door exploded open. Dolls poured into the room, not walking anymore, but sprinting on all fours like spiders. Their heads snapped around violently, searching. One of them peered into the open hatch, its tiny face twisted into a wide, cracked grin. "Found. You." Mia didn't wait. She slid the rest of the way down like someone escaping a burning building. The man grabbed her arm before she hit the floor and pulled her into the darkness. They ran. The basement was nothing like she imagined. It wasn't a storage room. It was a long underground hallway, cold and endless, with pipes dripping water from the ceiling. Behind them, the sound of tiny footsteps echoed down the hatch. They were coming. They hit a corner so fast they almost collided with a wall. The man pulled out something from his pocket, a small flashlight with a dying battery. He pointed it forward, and the beam lit up dozens of old Dollar Tree uniforms hanging from hooks on the wall. Each uniform had a name tag still attached, each one dirty, torn, stained. Mia whispered, "What is this?" The man gulped. The employees who never clocked out. A soft click echoed behind them. Mia turned her head slowly. One of the name tags on the wall was glowing faintly. Just one. She stepped closer. The name tag read, MIA, night shift. Her heart dropped to her stomach. I never had this uniform. This isn't mine. The man spoke softly. It will be. And then the flashlight flickered out. From the darkness, dozens of tiny voices whispered, "Clock in, Mia." The second the flashlight died, the darkness felt alive. Not like, "Oh, it's dark," kinda creepy. More like something was breathing with them in that hallway. Mia grabbed the man's arm. "Turn the light back on." He smacked the flashlight like an old TV. Nothing. Behind them, the dolls started climbing down the ladder. Hundreds of tiny hands slapping metal rungs, their plastic giggles echoing through the basement. Mia whispered, "We can't stay here." The man nodded, voice trembling. "There's another way out, I think, but we need to find the maintenance tunnel." She blinked in the dark. "How? We can't see anything." He whispered back, "They can. If they're quiet, it means they're watching." As if on cue, the hallway fell silent. Mia's stomach twisted. That silence didn't feel empty. It felt crowded. Something brushed her arm, cold, smooth, like plastic. She jerked away, heart pounding. A tiny voice whispered inches from her ear, "Clock in, clock in." Mia swung blindly and hit something. It fell and skittered across the floor like a toy sliding on tile. The man grabbed her hand. "This way." They sprinted down the pitch-black hallway, the sound of plastic footsteps chasing them, faster, closer, angry. Every few seconds, something tugged at Mia's shirt or brushed her ankle. They reached a metal door at the end of the hall. The man shoved it open, and they stumbled inside. It was a small control room. Old monitors, dusty paper logs, broken chairs. But most disturbing, a giant map of the store's layout on the wall. Only, it wasn't the store. Not exactly. There were hidden rooms, tunnels, basement levels, all underneath the Dollar Tree, like a maze. Mia whispered, "What is this place?" The man stared at the map, shaking. "It's where they keep the ones who didn't make it out." He pointed to a blinking red dot on the map. "That's us. They're tracking movement." Another dot began flashing near the entrance to the room. Then another, and another, like dozens of little signals gathering right outside. Mia swallowed hard. "They're here." The man grabbed a crowbar, leaning against the wall. He wasn't strong, but he held it like he'd used it before. "Mia, get behind me." The footsteps outside the control room slowed, then stopped, dead quiet. The doorknob twisted once, then again, harder. Then a soft knock, followed by a tiny voice. "Please open the door. We found your uniform." The door hinges started bending. Mia backed away, shaking. "Where's the maintenance tunnel? You said there was one." The man pointed to a vent at the top of the room. "High up, barely big enough for one person." "Climb. You go first." Mia looked up at it, then at the door starting to crack open. If she didn't move right now, she'd become another plastic doll on the shelf. She grabbed the edge of the desk, pulled herself up, and reached for the vent. Then she froze. Because inside the vent, something was staring back at her. Two glowing plastic eyes. Not a doll. Something bigger. Something older. It whispered, "You're late for your shift, Mia." Mia almost slipped off the desk. Those glowing eyes in the vent didn't blink, just stared at her like they'd been waiting for years. She whispered, "Nope, nope, I'm not doing this." The man grabbed her ankle from below. "Don't freeze. Move. Whatever's up there, push past it." Easy for him to say. He wasn't the one face to face with some nightmare employee of the month. The thing in the vent shifted closer. Its plastic skin scraped against the metal, sounding like nails on a chalkboard. Then it spoke again. A low, glitchy voice. "You're late," Mia snapped. "No, I don't get paid enough for this." And she kicked it. Hard. The creature screeched, plastic bending and cracking, and it backed deeper into the vent. Mia didn't think. She crawled in after it, because the dolls were now halfway inside the control room. Behind her, the man yelled, "Go! I'll hold them off." She twisted around, eyes wide. "What? No, come with me." He shook his head, gripping the crowbar with both hands. "Someone has to block the door. If they catch both of us, no one makes it out." Before she could argue, the largest crack in the door split open. Dozens of little hands reached through, grabbing at his uniform, clawing the air. He shoved a filing cabinet against the door and looked at her one last time. "Mia, don't look back." She hesitated, just for a second. And that second cost him. A doll latched onto his leg and pulled with unnatural strength. He screamed. Mia's heart shattered. No, let him go. But more dolls poured in like a flood. They swarmed him, dragging him down, covering him like a pile of broken toys. He managed to shout one last thing. "Find the exit! Don't stop!" Then his scream was cut off. Mia forced herself to move. She crawled deeper into the vent, teeth clenched, tears running down her face. She didn't get to mourn. Not here. Behind her, something large crawled after her in the tight space. The creature with glowing eyes. She could hear its plastic limbs dragging, each scrape getting closer. The vent shook violently. It hissed. "Shift! In!" Mia crawled faster, breath sharp, body shaking. She didn't even know where the vent led. Then, up ahead, a faint green light. A glow stick, a single Dollar Tree glow stick, cracked open and glowing bright green, lying at the end of the vent. Someone left it there. Someone who knew she'd come through this way. The creature behind her picked up speed, ripping metal as it crawled. Mia grabbed the glow stick, turned left at the vent split, and the vent floor gave out. She fell, hard, straight into a room she'd never seen on the map. A room full of mirrors, every wall, every corner, floor to ceiling, mirrors. But each reflection was wrong. Each mirror showed her face, but turned into cracked plastic. Doll versions of herself, smiling too wide. In one reflection, she saw something else behind her. The creature dropping into the room, limbs bending backwards. Her own doll reflection whispered, "Welcome to the fitting room, Mia." The room felt wrong the moment Mia hit the floor. Not just creepy, predatory. Like the mirrors themselves were waiting to swallow her whole. Each reflection moved a little too slow, like a bad live stream lag. And every version of her had those cracked plastic cheeks, the dead painted eyes, and that unsettling, stretched smile. The creature dropped from the vent behind her. A massive, twisted doll, maybe human-sized, but melted, warped, its limbs bending like hot plastic pulled apart. It landed on all fours, head twisted upside down, glass eyes spinning like marbles. Then it said, in that glitchy, dragging tone, "Uniform, fitting." Mia backed away, hands shaking. "Don't come near me." The mirrors reacted instantly. Her reflection in every single one leaned forward and whispered in sync, "Come here, Mia." She threw a broken piece of mirror at one reflection. It shattered, but her reflection inside the shards kept moving, crawling toward her like it didn't need a full body. The creature moved closer, scraping plastic limbs across the floor. It raised a hand. Long, sharpened fingers, clicking together like scissors. Suddenly, the entire room lit up with a flickering fluorescent light, and for the first time, she noticed something buried under the mirrored floor. A trapdoor, small, bolted, old, the metal covered with scratches from the inside. Something, or someone, tried to claw their way out before. The creature lunged. Mia dove for the trapdoor, fingers slipping on the cold metal. She yanked. It didn't budge. The creature clawed at the floor behind her, getting closer. Her reflection spoke again, smiling wider. It only opens after you put it on. What? Put what on? She snapped. A set of footsteps echoed behind her. She spun around, but it wasn't the creature. It was a mannequin, a full-sized, faceless mannequin, wearing a Dollar Tree uniform, a green apron, a name tag, MIA. The mannequin lifted the apron slowly, offering it to her like a gift. The creature's shadow grew on the mirrors behind it, ready to pounce. Mia screamed, "I'm not putting that on!" She grabbed the name tag instead, and the entire room shook. The mirrors cracked, the lights flickered violently. The creature shrieked, covering its face, recoiling like the name tag was fire. Suddenly, the trapdoor unlocked with a loud metallic clack. Her reflection whispered one last time, "Run." Mia yanked the trapdoor open and dropped into the darkness. The creature lunged after her, but the trapdoor slammed shut in its face. She hit a cold concrete floor, rolled, and stumbled to her feet. She wasn't alone, because standing in this new room, facing away from her, was someone she recognized instantly. The man from earlier, the one who sacrificed himself. But something was wrong, very wrong. He turned around slowly. His skin was shiny, his eyes were painted on, his joints were plastic. He smiled unnaturally wide. "Told you not to look back." Mia stumbled backward until her spine hit the wall. No, you didn't make it. This isn't you." Plastic him tilted his head, the joints clicking like loose gears. "Oh, I made it, Mia. Just not the way you hoped." He took one stiff step forward. His shadow stretched unnaturally across the floor. Tall, thin, puppet-like. The real him, the human him, was gone. What stood in front of her now was a replacement. Mia's voice cracked. "They turned you into one of them." He nodded with a slow, painful creak. "That's what happens when you try to help someone leave." Then his smile widened too far. "Corporate doesn't like quitters." She backed away, heart pounding. "What do you want from me?" He didn't blink, couldn't blink. "I want you to finish your shift, Mia." He lifted his hand, plastic fingers bending backward. "You're already on the schedule." Behind her, the trap door rumbled. The creature above was ramming it, furious. The metal bulged inward like it might burst any second. She had maybe seconds left. Mia scanned the room. It wasn't big, just concrete walls, pipes, and one thing she didn't notice before. A long, narrow hallway, with a glowing green exit sign flickering at the end. Her chest tightened. That leads out." Plastic him smiled. "Some exits aren't meant for customers." "But I'm not a customer," she snapped. "I work here." He paused. That seemed to confuse him, like something inside his programming glitched. The trap door slammed again. A plastic arm punched through. No more time. Mia ran. Plastic him lunged after her, limbs bending like rubber as he crashed into the wall and reoriented himself. "MIA!" Stop! Employees must stay on the floor. She sprinted down the hallway. The exit sign flickered brighter, like it was calling her. The walls shook. The creature roared behind her as the trapdoor shattered. Footsteps, dozens, maybe hundreds, pounded after her. Dolls, mannequin, the creature, the plastic version of him, all chasing her. She reached the exit door and shoved it open. Blinding light hit her. Cold air, night breeze, the highway, the world, freedom. She stumbled out and slammed the door behind her. Silence. The world outside felt normal, like nothing in that store should exist. She backed away, gasping, shaking, staring at the Dollar Tree building. All the lights inside turned off at once. The door she escaped through, gone. Just a blank wall where it used to be. She ran to the parking lot, phone trembling in her hand. She tried calling someone, anyone. As her phone powered on, she had one unread message from that same unknown number. It said, "Thanks for closing the store tonight. See you tomorrow, Mia." Under it, a new schedule notification popped up. Dollar Tree, night shift. Time 12:01 a.m. Status confirmed employee. Mia. Her reflection in her phone screen blinked. But she didn't blink. And it smiled. The end. I still remember the night everything started. It was supposed to be a normal shift. Just me, closing the Dollar Tree at the edge of town. The place always felt a little weird after 10 p.m., but I told myself it was just the bad lighting and the old air conditioner that liked to rattle like someone whispering. That night, though, something felt different the moment I walked in. The store was completely empty, but the automatic door behind me kept opening and closing like someone invisible was walking in. I checked the sensor. Nothing. No bugs, no dust, no glitches. Just the door acting like it had a mind of its own. I tried to shake it off. I clocked in, grabbed the broom, and started sweeping near aisle 3, the snack aisle. But as I pushed the broom forward, I heard it. A sound. A small, soft tapping. Like fingers gently knocking on plastic. Tap, tap, tap. I froze. The sound came from aisle 5, the aisle with the cheap toys. I told myself it was probably a ball rolling off a shelf, but the tapping kept going, steady, like a rhythm. Tap, tap, tap. It was too precise to be random. I tried calling out, "Hello? Store's closed. If someone's still inside, you gotta head out." No answer, just the tapping. Constant, slow. When I stepped toward aisle 5, the tapping suddenly stopped. Not faded. Stopped. Like whoever, or whatever, was doing it, knew I was coming. The store fell completely silent. That's when I noticed something else. A shopping basket sitting in the middle of the floor. One, I swear, wasn't there when I walked in. Inside it were just 2 items, a pair of rubber gloves and a cheap plastic mask. The white kind with empty eye holes. I didn't want to pick it up. I really didn't. But something about the way the mask was positioned, facing me, made my stomach twist. Right as I reached for the basket. The lights above aisle 5 flickered, once, twice, then all at once. They went out. And from the darkness, I heard a whisper. Not loud, not clear. Just breathing. Slow, heavy, like someone standing very close. I should have run right then. But I didn't. Because the breathing, it wasn't coming from aisle 5. It was coming from right behind me. I didn't move at first. I couldn't. My whole body locked up like my mind was trying to protect me by pretending none of this was real. The breathing behind me was so close, I could feel a tiny puff of warm air touch the back of my neck. Slow. Steady. Like whoever was there was taking their time on purpose. I swallowed hard and forced myself to speak. Hello. My voice cracked so bad it barely sounded like me. The breathing stopped. For a second, the silence felt even worse. At least the breathing told me something was there. Now everything was still. Too still. I finally gathered enough courage to turn around. There was no one. The whole store looked normal again. Quiet, empty, shelves neatly stacked. Just the hum of the refrigerator in the back and the faint buzz of the lights. But something was off. The air felt different, heavy, like the entire store was holding its breath. I stepped backward slowly, trying not to make a sound. I just wanted to get to the front counter, grab my phone, call my manager, and get the hell out of there. But then, something slid across the floor behind me. A soft scrape, like plastic dragging on tile. I spun around. The basket, the one with the gloves and the mask. It had moved. Not a lot. Maybe a foot. But I had my eyes on it the whole time. It shouldn't have moved at all. I whispered to myself, okay. Nope. I'm not doing this tonight. I reached for my phone in my pocket, my fingers shaking. But before I could even unlock it, the store speakers crackled. They weren't even supposed to be on after hours. Then a voice came through. Not a song. Not an announcement. Just a low, distorted recording. Aisle 5. Don't look away. I froze. The speakers crackled again. Then silence. My hand tightened around my phone. I turned toward aisle 5, even though every part of me screamed not to. The lights in that aisle flickered again. Once. Twice. Then they stayed on. Bright. Too bright. Like someone was waiting for me. My heart was pounding so hard, it felt like it was echoing through the shelves. I took one step toward aisle 5. Just one. And the moment my foot landed, something ran across the end of the aisle, too fast to see clearly. Just a blur of movement. But I heard it. A sharp, wet giggle. The giggle echoed through the store, bouncing off the walls like it didn't belong to just one place. It moved, high, then low, then somewhere behind me, like whatever made the sound was circling me without footsteps. I backed away from the aisle, stepping over fallen toys. My hands were shaking so hard, my phone almost slipped from my grip. I wanted to run straight to the exit, but the automatic door wouldn't open after closing hours unless I manually unlocked it from the counter. And to get to the counter, I had to walk past aisle 7, the dark aisle, the one with the broken lights we were supposed to fix next week. Another giggle cut through the silence, this one sharper, clearer, like it was excited. I swallowed hard and whispered to myself, just get to the front, that's it. Just walk. I forced my legs to move, one step at a time, pushing away the sound of toys crunching under my shoes. As I reached the end of aisle 5, I stopped. Something was on the floor. A trail. Tiny wet footprints leading from the toy aisle. Toward aisle 7. They were small, almost like a child's. But the shape wasn't right. The toes were too long, the heel too narrow. Like something had tried to copy a human footprint, but didn't get it exactly right. The footprints glistened under the store lights, leaving a thin smear behind each step. I didn't want to follow them. I really didn't. But the footprints were leading in the exact direction I had to go. The store speakers crackled again, making me jump. Then the same distorted voice whispered, "Don't look behind you." I froze instantly. My whole body went cold. Because when someone tells you not to look, it means something is there. I squeezed my eyes shut, breathing through my nose, trying not to panic. But then, something touched my shoulder. Not a grab, not a push, just a tap. 2 taps, like a child trying to get someone's attention. I felt the blood drain from my face. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. The taps came again, light, almost playful. Then a soft voice whispered right next to my ear. "Found you." My legs buckled. I spun around, terrified. And no one was there. Just the empty aisle behind me. But the footprints, the wet, wrong-shaped footprints, now circled me completely. Like something had walked around me while I stood still. Like it had been studying me. Then, from the far end of the store, something poked its head out from behind aisle 7. Something small. Something pale. Watching. The giggle didn't sound like a kid. Or an adult. It was wrong. Like someone trying to imitate a laugh, but not fully understanding how humans are supposed to sound. I froze where I stood, staring at the end of aisle 5. My mind kept trying to tell me it was just an animal, maybe a raccoon or something. But raccoons don't giggle, and they definitely don't move like that. I gripped my phone tighter and forced my legs to move. Slow steps, quiet steps, every part of me on alert. When I reached the end of the aisle, I peeked around the corner. Nothing, no movement, no sound, just rows of cheap toys hanging from metal hooks, all perfectly still. I let out a shaky breath, trying to calm myself down. Okay, maybe I'm just tired, I whispered to myself. But then I noticed something on the floor. A small green rubber ball. I recognized it. It belonged on the top shelf in this aisle. I remember because I had put it back earlier that evening after some kid threw it around. Now it was sitting right in front of me. I leaned down to pick it up, but before I touched it, the ball rolled by itself. A slow, smooth roll, like someone had nudged it. I straightened up so fast I almost stumbled. "Hello?" I called again, louder this time. "If someone's messing with me, it's not funny." Still nothing. But then something strange happened. All the toys on the left side of the aisle started swaying. Not wildly, just a soft, gentle sway. Back and forth, as if someone had walked by and brushed their hand along them. I stepped back. My breath hitched. The swaying stopped all at once. Then one toy fell. A stuffed clown doll, small, cheap, with painted-on eyes. It landed face down. I bent down slowly and picked it up. The fabric felt cold, colder than it should have been. When I turned it over, something was written across the clown's face in black marker. One word. Stay. My chest tightened. I dropped the doll without thinking. It hit the floor with a soft thud. And immediately, every toy on the shelves dropped at the same time. Not one by one. Not in sections. All of them. The entire aisle exploded in the sound of plastic and plush hitting the floor at once. I stumbled back, heart racing, staring at the mess in front of me. Then, from somewhere deeper in the store, I heard it again. That same wet, broken giggle. But this time, it was closer. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. The thing peeking out from aisle 7 didn't move. Just a small, pale shape, barely sticking out past the shelf. It looked almost like a face, but not fully. Like someone was hiding and leaning out just enough to watch me. I blinked hard. It didn't disappear. I took one slow step back. The pale shape slid back behind the aisle, fast, too fast, like it moved on all fours, or like it didn't have bones at all. My throat tightened. Nope. Nope. I'm not dealing with this. I clutched my phone tighter. My thumb hovered over the screen. I knew I should call someone, manager, police, anyone, but a part of me froze at the idea of making noise. I didn't know what that thing would do if it heard me speak again. I checked the screen anyway. No signal. My stomach dropped. We weren't far from town. This store always had signal. Always. I walked toward the front to see if it improved, but as I moved, the overhead lights flickered again. This time, they didn't go out. They dimmed, lower and lower, until the entire store looked washed in a sick yellow glow. The air turned colder. I rubbed my arms and kept walking, passing by aisle 6, then slowly approaching aisle 7. I kept my eyes forward, refusing to look into that dark aisle, even though every step felt like I was walking toward a hole in the ground. I thought I was in the clear, just a few more steps to the counter, when something clicked on the tile behind me. A single footstep. I turned around quickly. Nothing. Just empty aisles. I exhaled shakily, forcing my breathing to slow. Then, another step. This one came from aisle 7. Soft, wet, like bare feet. I backed away, unable to stop myself from glancing at the aisle. It was pitch black, but something inside moved. I didn't see it move. I saw the space shift, like darkness pulling back for a second. Then 2 small shapes appeared. Feet, not shaped right, not placed right. One pointing sideways, one inward. Bent wrong, as if whoever they belonged to had never learned how to stand properly. They stepped forward into the dim light, and slowly, very slowly, a small hand slid around the corner of the shelf. Tiny fingers, long and thin, curling around the side. Then another giggle. Quiet. Close. I stumbled back. The head poked out again. This time I saw it clearly. A small, pale face. But the eyes were just dark circles. No shine, no whites. Like empty holes covered by thin skin. The mouth stretched into a crooked smile, too wide for a child, too sharp at the corners. It stared at me without blinking. Then it whispered, "Stay. We can play." My whole body locked up. That small voice didn't sound playful. It sounded hungry. I took another step back, slowly, trying not to make any sudden moves. But the thing at the end of aisle 7 tilted its head, like it was curious about how scared I was. Its neck bent too far to the side. A soft crack echoed, but it didn't seem bothered at all. It stepped forward, not walking, not crawling, just gliding, like its feet were touching the floor, but not using them. I felt sweat drip down my back as I whispered, "Stay back. Please." It didn't listen. Another step, another glide, the smile growing a little wider each time. I could finally see more of its body. Small, like a child, but thin and stretched in places, like someone had pulled it too hard and forgot to reshape it. I backed up until I felt the end of a shelf bump into my spine. I had nowhere else to go. The creature stopped about 10 feet away, its head tilting slowly from one side to the other, studying me like I was a toy it wasn't sure how to use yet. Then its mouth twitched. Not a smile, a reaction, like it heard something. A moment later, I heard it too. A faint, rattling sound, metal shaking, from the front of the store. I turned my head slightly, trying not to look away completely. The front door was moving, not opening, just shaking, like someone outside was pulling it, or trying to get in. The creature let out a soft, irritated hiss, its smile dropping. It didn't like the sound. Slowly it turned its head toward the entrance. Not its whole body, just its head, twisting in a slow, unnatural rotation until its face was pointed the wrong way. I flinched. The rattling at the door grew louder, more desperate, like someone outside was begging to be let in. I whispered to myself, "Oh God, what's happening tonight?" The creature's head snapped back to face me, fast, so fast I gasped. Then it whispered, "Don't open." My breath caught. Open what? The door, the store, something else. Before I could even think, The rattling at the front door suddenly stopped. Silence fell again, a heavy, crushing silence. Then, 3 slow, heavy knocks echoed from the glass entrance. Knock. 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 The creature's eyes grew wider, not scared, excited, like it knew something I didn't. I felt my knees weaken, because whoever, or whatever, was knocking at the door wasn't trying to get in. The knocks were coming from inside the store. I froze. My mind couldn't process it at first. The knocks, the slow, heavy knocks, were coming from the inside of the store. But I was inside. The creature was inside. And I hadn't seen anyone else. The creature turned its body at last, its whole frame twisting to face the front entrance. Its long, thin fingers twitched like it was excited to see what would happen next. I whispered, barely able to breathe. "Who's there?" No answer. Just the echo of those knocks replaying in my head. I stepped sideways, pressing myself against the shelf, trying to get a better view of the front door from where I stood. The glass looked normal, nothing unusual. No shadows, no figures. But then, a faint outline appeared on the glass. A handprint, not fogged, not smudged, wet, like something soaked touched the glass and dragged its hand down slowly. I held my breath. The creature in aisle 7 let out a soft giggle, almost like it was greeting someone. My skin crawled. Then another knock, but not at the door this time. This one came from aisle 3. A single, sharp knock on one of the metal shelves. I jumped. Another knock from aisle 2, then aisle 4, then aisle 1. All around me, like something was moving through the aisles, hitting the shelves as it went, circling me in wide loops. The creature's head twitched toward the sound with every knock, smiling wider and wider. Then, everything stopped. No knocking, no giggling, no movement, just cold, perfect silence. I swallowed hard. "What do you want from me?" For a moment, nothing happened. Then the store speakers crackled again. Louder this time, clearer. A voice came through, not distorted like before, just a slow, deep whisper. "Aisle 7. My blood ran cold, because I was standing right next to aisle 7. The creature slowly turned back to me, its empty eyes staring straight into mine. It whispered, almost sweetly, "Come inside." I shook my head. "No, I'm not going in there." The creature tilted its head, confused. Then the voice on the speakers repeated, louder. "Aisle 7. The lights above me flickered violently, buzzing like angry insects. One bulb popped, dropping a small rain of glass just inches from my feet. The creature stepped back into the darkness of aisle 7, its pale hand curling slowly, as if inviting me. I shook my head again, backing away. Then, from behind me, a cold hand grabbed my ankle. I screamed and kicked instinctively, but whatever grabbed my ankle had a grip like ice. Thin fingers, cold and stiff, wrapping around my skin with a slow, deliberate squeeze. I looked down, but nothing was there. Just my own shaking leg, and faint, wet fingerprints forming on my skin. The grip tightened. I staggered, almost falling backward. My heartbeat was slamming in my ears. I tried to pull free, kicking and dragging my foot across the floor, but the invisible hand held on, harder, like it wanted to drag me somewhere. "Ah! Let go! Let go!" Then, the grip released. I stumbled back so fast I hit the shelves behind me, knocking a row of cheap plastic hangers onto the floor. My legs were shaking too badly to stand still, so I leaned against the wall, panting. The creature in aisle 7 giggled again. This time it sounded pleased. It stepped half out of the aisle, its 2 long fingers dragging along the floor, scratching faint lines into the tiles. Scratch, scratch, scratch. The marks it left were real. "Come," it whispered. Inside. Please. I shook my head, feeling tears sting my eyes. Why me? What do you want? The creature blinked slowly, just once, like it was learning how blinking worked. Then it smiled wider. You heard us. I froze. What? What do you mean? Another smile. Another slow blink. Most don't hear. Most walk past. You heard us. My stomach twisted. The speakers crackled a third time, louder than before, and the same deep voice said, "Enter aisle 7." The lights above aisle 7 flared bright white, buzzing like angry wasps. Then, the lights in every other aisle went out. Click. Pitch darkness. Everything around me disappeared except aisle 7, the only place still lit. The creature stepped back into the aisle, leaving only its face poking out from the edge. Waiting, watching, inviting. I looked over my shoulder into the darkness behind me. It felt alive, like something was hiding there, something bigger than the creature, something crawling just out of sight. A low, dragging sound slid across the floor, something large moving. I backed toward the light of aisle 7 without meaning to, step by step. The creature whispered, "Good, good." My hands trembled. If I stayed in the darkness, whatever was moving there would reach me. If I went into aisle 7, I had no idea what waited inside. My legs kept moving on their own. One step, another, closer to the glowing aisle. The moment I reached the entrance of aisle 7, the creature leaned closer and whispered, "Close your eyes." My whole body went stiff. Close my eyes. Did it want me blind? Easy to grab? Easy to take? I shook my head slowly. I'm not closing my eyes. The creature's smile faded for the first time. Not angry. Disappointed. Its voice softened, almost like a warning. If you look, you won't leave. My breath caught in my throat. Before I could ask what that meant, the dragging sound behind me grew louder. Something heavy sliding across the tiles, slow and steady. I turned my head slightly, just enough to peek into the darkness beyond the shelves. I couldn't see details, but I saw size, a shape, tall, hunched, too wide to be human. It exhaled, and a deep, rattling breath filled the entire store. The creature in aisle 7 whispered quickly, "Close your eyes now." My legs almost buckled. I squeezed my eyes shut, heart thundering, hands shaking so badly I had to grip the shelves to stay standing. The moment I did, something shifted. The floor felt colder, the air thicker, like the whole store changed around me. Then, a soft hand touched my wrist. Not cold like before. Warm, small. The creature. It was guiding me. I took a shaky breath. "Where are you taking me?" The creature didn't answer, but its fingers curled gently, urging me forward. I stumbled into aisle 7 with my eyes shut tight. I felt the chill vanish the moment I crossed the threshold. Like something outside the aisle stopped chasing me instantly. A distant growl echoed behind me. Deep, angry, frustrated. Whatever was out there, it wanted me. Badly. The creature tugged my wrist again, urging me deeper into the aisle. My voice trembled. "Can I open my eyes now?" The creature hesitated, then whispered, "Not yet." It kept guiding me, one careful step at a time, until the floor beneath my feet changed from tile to something softer. Carpet? That didn't make sense. There was no carpet in Dollar Tree. My heart pounded. "What's happening? Where are we?" The creature replied softly, like sharing a secret. "The store isn't just a store." I swallowed, terrified. Then I heard something new. A quiet sound behind me in the darkness we'd just left. Footsteps, slow, heavy, moving up aisle 7. They stopped right at the entrance. A long, low voice, inhuman, layered, spoke from the dark. "You can look now." Kayla stared at the glitching sign, heart thumping so loud she swore the balloons could hear it. Do not exit. Yeah, super comforting. The piñata stepped closer, paper feet scraping the floor, its hollow face bending like it wasn't meant to make expressions. Kayla whispered, "What's waiting?" The piñata's head twitched violently, its painted eyes stretched wider, the ink cracking like dry paint. Your manager. Kayla felt her entire soul leave her body for a second. Nope. I'm not meeting that thing. The balloons pressed into her back gently, like they were guiding her, helping her, or hurting her. She reached for the handle, cold, like metal left in a freezer. Her phone buzzed. Unknown. Kayla, whatever you do, close the door behind you. She swallowed hard, then turned the handle. It clicked open. A wave of cold air hit her face, wet, stale, and heavy. The room behind the door wasn't a break room, not even close. It looked like a long, narrow hallway, dim lights flickering, walls covered with old shelves full of expired products, things she'd never seen in the store before. Dusty toys, faded labels, melted candles. A chill ran down her back. She stepped inside. The balloons did not follow. They stayed in the doorway, watching. Kayla quickly slammed the door shut. The hallway lights flickered once, twice, then stabilized. She whispered, "Okay, one problem at a time." She walked forward slowly. Each step echoed like she was walking inside a giant empty box. Halfway down the hallway, she spotted something. A shopping cart, just sitting there. But not like someone abandoned it mid-shopping. It was placed neatly, facing her, waiting. And inside the cart, a uniform, green apron, Dollar Tree logo, name tag. Kayla, night shift. Kayla backed up fast. "Nope, that's not mine. I don't wear aprons, ever." But the cart rolled toward her on its own. Creak, creak, creak. She pressed against the wall, refusing to touch it. Her phone buzzed again. Unknown. "Put it on. It'll keep them from smelling you." She shook her head. "Smelling me? Who's them?" She didn't get an answer. Suddenly, the lights flickered violently. The hallway temperature dropped. Her breath started fogging. Kayla's heart stuttered. Something was coming. She grabbed the apron with shaking hands and threw it on her body. She didn't tie it, just let it hang there. The moment the fabric touched her, the air went silent. Completely silent. Then, from the far end of the hallway, she heard it. Soft footsteps, slow, dragging, heavy, like someone walking with broken legs. Kayla ducked behind a shelf, breathing into her sleeve to stay quiet. The footsteps grew louder. A shape appeared at the end of the hall, tall, thin, uniformed. Its head brushed the ceiling. She couldn't see its face. The light above it kept flickering, like even electricity refused to look at it. Kayla's phone buzzed again. She nearly screamed, but checked it with shaking hands. Unknown. Kayla, whatever you do, don't let it see your eyes. She snapped her head down instantly, just as the tall figure stopped inches away from her hiding spot. It inhaled deeply, sniffing the air. Kayla held her breath. The figure whispered, in a voice that sounded like broken speakers, "New employee?" Its shadow crawled across the floor toward her, and then, very quietly, it bent down. "Okay, let's talk about a place we all know. A place where everything is cheap, bright, harmless. A place where you go to buy snacks, pens, gift bags, whatever. Dollar Tree. Yeah. You're probably thinking, what could possibly be scary about that? That's what Kayla thought too, right before everything went sideways. Kayla worked the late shift. It wasn't her idea. Her manager tossed her the keys and said, "You'll be fine. This store basically runs itself." She laughed it off. Shouldn't have. Around 9:45 p.m., the store went quiet. Not normal quiet. Heavy quiet, like the kind right before someone whispers your name behind your ear. Kayla was restocking chips when she noticed something weird. A single green basket placed in the middle of aisle 5. Perfectly centered, not fallen, not dropped, placed. But she hadn't seen anyone walk in for the past 20 minutes. She rolled her eyes. Probably some customer being messy. She walked over, picked up the basket, put it back. She turned around and froze. Another basket was now sitting in the exact same spot. Same aisle, same position, same perfect alignment. Her voice cracked a little. Okay, that's weird. She checked the cameras on her phone app. Nothing. Zero motion. Like the store wasn't empty, but waiting. Then she heard it. A soft tapping. Tap, tap, tap. Coming from the next aisle. Slow, steady, like someone tapping their nails on the shelf just to let her know they were there. Kayla whispered, "Hello? Anyone here?" No answer. Just one more tap. Closer now. She stepped carefully to the aisle corner and peeked around. No one. But all the items on the shelf had shifted. Just a little. Like they'd leaned toward her. Her phone buzzed suddenly, making her jump. Unknown number. Don't look behind you. Kayla froze. Breath locked in her throat. Something warm. Something breathing. Pressed close behind her neck. And that's when the store lights flickered. Once. Then again. Then all at once, they went out. Leaving her in the dark, with whatever was standing inches behind her. Kayla didn't turn around. You know those moments when your whole body is like, "Girl, if you look back, that's your fault." Yeah, that. She stayed still, breathing soft, listening. The thing behind her breathed too, but not like a normal person, more like static, fuzzy, glitchy, as if someone was trying to imitate breathing but didn't actually know how. Kayla slowly reached for her phone flashlight, hands shaking so bad she almost dropped it. The tapping came again. But now it wasn't on the shelves. It was right next to her ear, like a fingernail tapping the air itself. She hit the flashlight. The beam lit up aisle 5 and nothing. Empty shelves, empty floor, no baskets. But the cold feeling behind her didn't move. Another text came through from the unknown number. "If you run, don't look at the mirrors." Kayla whispered, "What mirrors?" Then she remembered. The store had a long wall of those cheap, full-body mirrors in aisle 9. The ones people use to check how they look holding a $1 gift bag. She didn't even want to imagine what might be waiting in them. She took one step forward, and something lightly brushed the back of her hair. She sprinted, full speed, no hesitation, just pure survival mode. Her footsteps echoed through the store as she turned corners, breath shaking, flashlight bouncing around. She reached the middle of the store when a mirror fell off a shelf and shattered in front of her. Not dropped, not slipped, thrown. And inside the broken reflection, she saw something she knew wasn't hers. A face, smiling, plastic, too wide, leaning in from behind her. But when she turned, nothing. Her phone buzzed again. Go to the party aisle, now. Great. She was taking orders from a stranger in the middle of a haunted Dollar Tree. Still, anything was better than staying where she was. She turned toward the party aisle, but halfway there she skidded to a stop. Every single balloon, every single one, was floating in the middle of the aisle. Not tied, not touching the ceiling, just floating, perfectly still. Kayla whispered, "Nope, nope, nope, nope." Then one balloon slowly turned toward her, like a head, then another, and another, until all of them were facing her at once. and the balloon closest to her smiled. Kayla stumbled back so fast she almost tripped over her own shoes. Balloons are not supposed to smile, especially the cheap Dollar Tree ones that can't even float for more than an hour. But this one lifted slightly higher, like it was proud of itself. She lifted her flashlight, hands shaking. The balloon's smile wasn't printed. It was forming, slowly, stretching across the plastic like someone was drawing it from the inside. Kayla whispered, "Absolutely not." The other balloons started turning too, not drifting, not wobbling, turning, like heads following her movement. Her phone buzzed again. Unknown. "Don't pop them, they get angry." Kayla swallowed hard, because that was exactly the thing she was about to try. She backed up, keeping her eyes on the balloons. Every step she took, they floated forward, staying in a perfect line. Soft, silent, watching. Then one balloon brushed her shoulder. Light as air, but cold, like touching ice. Kayla almost screamed. Her phone buzzed again. "You're close. Keep going." She whispered. "Close to what?" No reply. Classic. She pushed forward, moving deeper into the party aisle, weaving between balloons that floated way too close. Then she reached the end and froze. Because hanging at the end of the aisle, right above the discount gift bags, was a body-sized piñata. But not the usual donkey or unicorn. This one looked human. Human-shaped, with cheap paper arms, paper legs, and a paper head tilted unnaturally to the side. Kayla felt her stomach drop. The piñata slowly lifted its head. Paper crunched like dry leaves. And in a soft, papery whisper it said, "You're late." Kayla backed away in horror, but the balloons behind her gently bumped her forward, blocking her escape. She was trapped. The piñata leaned closer, bits of colored paper dropping off its face like dead skin. Then, in a chillingly polite voice, it said, "Shift starts at midnight." Her phone buzzed again. She looked down, praying it was a way out. It wasn't. Unknown. Behind you. Kayla turned slowly and saw something she hadn't noticed before. A door. A door that shouldn't exist in the middle of Dollar Tree. A door with a glowing green sign above it. "Employees only. Do not enter." But the sign flickered, glitching between letters. "Do not exit," the piñata whispered behind her. "Go on. It's waiting." Kayla kept her head down, staring at the floor, too scared to even blink. The tall figure's shadow stretched across her shoes, shaking slightly like it was tasting the air. It leaned closer, so close she could feel its breath on her hair. Except it wasn't warm or cold. It felt like someone blowing static from a broken TV directly onto her scalp. Her hands trembled so bad she had to hide them under the apron. The figure inhaled again. Deep, slow, sniffing. Then it whispered. "New." Kayla's lungs felt like they were about to explode from holding her breath too long. The figure dragged one long, bony finger across the shelf she was hiding behind, the sound like metal scraping bone. Her phone buzzed. She thought she was going to pass out. It buzzed again. In desperation, she opened the message just enough to see it without moving her head. Unknown. Kayla. It can't see you if you're wearing the apron, but it can hear your heart. Slow your breathing. Slow her breathing? Girl, she was evaporating. The tall figure suddenly snapped its head toward her hiding spot, fast, like a glitch in a video. Kayla's heart skipped so violently, she thought it could hear it. She tried to slow her breaths. In, out, quiet, small. The figure leaned even closer. She could see its feet now, wrong, twisted, the toes bending upward like claws. It hissed, "Don't be shy. I won't hurt you. Not if you know the rules." Kayla didn't know any rules. She didn't even know why this hallway existed. Then, the figure's head snapped to the left in one sharp movement. A noise echoed down the hall. Kayla's breath froze in her chest. It was coming from the direction she came from. A soft, faint giggle. A balloon giggle. Kayla's stomach dropped. The tall figure growled, a low, vibrating sound, and suddenly sprinted down the hall, limbs bending at impossible angles, its body slamming into shelves so hard they shook. The balloons were coming for her again, and the tall thing was going after them. Kayla peeked out from her hiding spot. This was her chance. She took off running in the opposite direction. The apron flapped around her as she sprinted through the hallway, turning corners blindly, following the dim emergency lights. Then, she saw it, a sign glowing red. Loading bay. Exit. For the first time since everything started, Kayla felt hope. She ran toward it, nearly crying with relief. But when she reached the door, it slowly opened, on its own, lights flickering inside. And standing in the center of the loading bay was a man, wearing a Dollar Tree manager vest. Back turned to her, completely still. Kayla froze. Her phone buzzed. She almost didn't want to look. Unknown. Kayla, whatever you do, don't say yes to anything he asks. The manager slowly turned around, smiling, too wide, too polite. Kayla, he said gently, I've been looking for you. He raised a clipboard. Ready to discuss your contract? The manager's smile didn't look human. It looked printed, perfect, stretched, like someone drew it on his face and forgot to stop. Kayla took a shaky step back. No, I'm not signing anything. I don't even work here. He chuckled softly, too softly, like he practiced the laugh but didn't understand it. Oh, Kayla, you already clocked in when you put on the apron. She grabbed the apron's edges like she could tear it off, but the moment she tugged, it tightened around her neck. The manager's grin widened. See? It fits you. A cold panic shot through her. Her phone buzzed. Unknown. Do not remove the apron. It'll know. It'll know, she whispered. But before she could finish, the manager stepped forward, clipboard still in hand. Let's keep this friendly, he said politely. We only need your signature. After that, you're officially part of our night team. Kayla swallowed hard. I don't want to be part of anything. The manager tilted his head in a slow, unnatural roll. Bones, or whatever he had, cracking loudly. Kayla, everyone joins the night shift eventually. His shadow stretched across the floor, reaching her feet. He held out the clipboard. Just sign, that's all. Kayla stared at it. A Dollar Tree contract. Except the lines weren't written in ink. They were written in scratches. Deep grooves carved into the paper, like claws made them. Her name was already printed at the top. Underneath it, status. Pending. Her hand trembled. The manager leaned in, voice suddenly soft, almost sympathetic. You must be tired. We understand. Just say yes, Kayla. It's easier. Her throat tightened. Everything inside her screamed, no. She shook her head. I'm not signing that. The manager blinked once. Slow. His smile faded into something flat and lifeless. That's disappointing. Then his voice shifted, lower, distorted, inhuman. Kayla, don't make this difficult. Her phone buzzed like crazy now, one notification after another. She checked it, heart pounding. Unknown. Run. Now. He isn't alone. Kayla looked up and saw dozens of shadows gathering behind the manager. Short, wide, crooked shadows. She recognized the shapes instantly. Dolls. They were crawling out from the corners of the loading bay, from behind boxes, from under the shelves, their tiny plastic bodies twitching, eyes glowing faintly. The manager whispered without moving his mouth, "Bring her." The dolls rushed forward. Kayla bolted. She leapt over boxes, dodged carts, sprinted across the loading bay as the dolls scrambled after her. Plastic hands slapping the concrete floor, their tiny voices chanting, "Clock in! Clock in! Clock in!" She spotted a stairway door on the far wall. Red exit sign flickering. She shoved it open and hurled herself inside, slamming the door behind her. The dolls hit the door with soft thumps, one by one. But the manager? His footsteps were heavier, patient, closer. Kayla climbed the stairs as fast as she could, but halfway up, she stopped dead in her tracks, because someone was standing at the top of the staircase. A silhouette, tall, still. Her phone buzzed one more time. Unknown. "Kayla, don't scream." The silhouette stepped into the light. It wasn't the manager. It wasn't a doll. It wasn't the tall thing from the hallway. It was Kayla. Same apron, same clothes, same hair. But her reflection's smile was plastic. And she whispered, "Finally, you made it." Kayla froze mid-stare, chest rising and falling like she'd sprinted miles. Her double, same face, same body, same everything, stood perfectly still at the top step. But her eyes, they weren't human. They were glossy, painted, plastic, like someone recreated Kayla but forgot to give her a soul. What are you?" Kayla whispered. "Plastic." Kayla tilted her head, the movement too smooth to be natural, like a doll being turned by invisible hands. "I'm what you become," she said softly, "when you stay." Kayla shook her head, voice cracking. "I'm not staying. I'm leaving. I don't belong here." Plastic Kayla's smile widened, cracking faintly at the corners, like stretching cheap material too far. "Oh, but you do," she whispered. "You were chosen." Kayla took a step back down the stairs. Every light flickered. Behind the lower door, the manager and dolls started pounding. Slow at first, then faster, like their patience just snapped. Plastic Kayla reached out a hand. "You're making this harder than it needs to be. Just come with me. Let's finish your shift." Kayla's voice came out barely a whisper. "You're not real." Plastic Kayla laughed, a soft, empty sound that echoed wrong in the stairwell. Says the girl running from her own job. Kayla glanced up the stairs. The exit sign was right behind the plastic version of herself. Close enough to touch, if she got past her. Her phone buzzed. She prayed it was advice. Any advice. Unknown. "Kayla, listen closely. That thing isn't there to stop you. It's there to copy you." Her blood ran cold. Copy her, so it could replace her. The message continued. "If it touches you, you'll become the one in the uniform." Kayla looked at its outstretched hand. Close. Too close. She backed up another step. The dolls downstairs started chanting louder. "Clock in! Clock in! Clock in!" Plastic. Kayla suddenly twitched, a glitchy jerk forward, closing half the distance in one unnatural step. Kayla gasped and scrambled up 2 steps. Plastic Kayla mirrored her instantly. Kayla stopped. Plastic Kayla stopped. Kayla realized it. It only moved when she moved, like a mirror that escaped someone's wall. She lifted one hand slowly. Plastic Kayla lifted the opposite hand. Kayla whispered, "Okay, that's how you want to play this?" Her phone buzzed again. Unknown. "Kayla, there's only one way past it. You need to move wrong." "Wrong?" Kayla whispered. "What does that even mean?" Plastic Kayla repeated her whisper in perfect sync, but without sound. Kayla swallowed hard. She took one step backward. Plastic. Kayla took a step forward. She took another step backward. Plastic Kayla lunged. Kayla did the only thing she could think of. She moved sideways, fast and clumsy. Plastic Kayla tried to mirror, but mirrors don't move sideways during stairwell geometry. Its limbs twisted, bending the wrong way. Its foot slipped on the metal step. Its body jolted violently, head spinning too far. Kayla bolted past it before it recovered. The exit door was right there. She reached for the handle. Plastic. Kayla grabbed her ankle. Cold, hard, unhuman. Kayla screamed and kicked, but its grip only tightened. Plastic Kayla's voice was no longer soft. "You're mine." The dolls downstairs shrieked in unison. The manager roared. The tall creature bellowed from somewhere above. Kayla kicked again, harder, and Plastic Kayla's hand cracked, fingers snapping like brittle toys. It screamed. A sharp, horrible noise that wasn't human at all. Kayla didn't wait. She threw herself through the exit door, into the unknown hallway beyond. She slammed the door, just as dozens of plastic fingers clawed at the gap. The lights overhead buzzed. The hallway led deeper into the building. But at least the monsters were temporarily blocked out. Kayla pressed her back against the wall, breathing fast. Then she looked up. The hallway sign read, "Dollar Tree, Storage Floor 2. And below it, "Employees who survive report here." Kayla stared at the sign, trying to process what it even meant. Employees who survive report here. Not employees on shift, not authorized staff only. Employees who survive. Survive what? Everything chasing her, the store itself. Her legs felt like jelly, but standing still wasn't an option. She walked forward, each step echoing in the dim hallway. The lights flickered above her like they were trying to warn her. Halfway down the hall, she heard something. Not footsteps, not breathing, typing. Soft, fast, frantic typing. Click, 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 click. She followed the sound to a half-open office door. She peeked inside and froze. There was a man sitting at a desk, typing on a busted computer. His clothes were old, Dollar Tree uniform from years ago. His hair was messy, skin pale. Kayla whispered, "Sir, are you okay?" He didn't look up, didn't blink, didn't move anything except his fingers. Click, 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 click. The computer monitor flickered with an old-style interface. Rows of text scrolled nonstop. Employee count, 137. Employees active, 0. Employees missing, 137. New employee detected, Kayla, pending. Kayla's stomach twisted. This man, was he one of the missing? Was he even alive? She stepped closer. "Sir." The typing stopped, instantly, like someone hit pause. His hands froze on the keyboard. Slowly, very slowly, he lifted his head. Kayla regretted speaking. His eyes were cloudy, gray, unfocused, like he hadn't slept or blinked in years. Then his jaw opened. Not naturally. It unhinged, wide, too wide. And in a voice that sounded like multiple people speaking through him, he whispered, "Don't report here." Kayla stumbled back. The man stood up, limbs stiff and jerky, like his bones were rusted. He pointed at her apron. "Take it off." Kayla shook her head. "I can't. They told me not to." The man's voice jumped to a loud, multi-layered screech. "Take it off or they'll find you faster." Kayla grabbed the apron, tugging. It tightened again, strangling her. She gasped, choking. The man staggered toward her, reaching, then froze in mid-step, like someone unplugged him. Kayla couldn't breathe. She clawed at the apron, desperate. Her phone buzzed. She fumbled it open, vision blurring. Unknown. "Kayla, don't remove it. He's one of them. He's trying to mark you." Mark her? For what? Suddenly, the lights overhead flickered violently. The man's body jerked, resetting, Reloading. Kayla did the only thing she could. She kicked the office door shut and bolted down the hallway. Behind her, the man started typing again, faster, angrier. Click, 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 click. Kayla reached another door at the end of the hall. A metal one, dented, scratched. A sign above it read, Stock Room, Level B3. Authorized personnel only. Below that, someone had carved, Don't go down unless you want to meet the original manager. Kayla whispered, Oh, that's just perfect. Her phone buzzed again. Unknown. Kayla, you have to go down. She wanted to scream, but she pushed the heavy metal door open anyway. A stairwell spiraled downward, pitch black, air cold as a freezer, something moving far below. She stepped inside, and the door slammed shut behind her. Locks clicked, lights flickered. Something below started climbing toward her. Fast. Kayla stared down the stairwell, her breath turning into fog. The darkness below wasn't empty. It was moving. A slow, dragging scrape of something climbing upward. She backed up a step. No. Nope. I'm not going down there. Her phone buzzed. Unknown. Kayla, if you go back up, you'll meet the copies again. If you stay there, the original manager will reach you. Your only chance. Kayla whispered shakily. Is what? Unknown. Go down. But don't look at him. Super. Amazing. More don'ts. The scraping sound grew louder, then paused, like whatever was down there sensed her hesitation. Kayla gripped the railing, closed her eyes for a moment, and said, Okay. Kayla, you survived midterms. You can survive this. She took the first step. It creaked under her, then another, then another. As she descended, the temperature dropped so sharply her fingers went numb. Halfway down, the faint emergency lights turned on, one at a time, leading her deeper underground. Then she saw it. A door. Metal. Industrial. Big enough to be a refrigerator door for a giant. On it, a painted sign. Manager Office. Basement Level B3. But someone had scratched out office and carved Crypt. Kayla swallowed hard. I hate this store. I really hate this store. She reached the bottom step and froze, because right in front of the giant metal door was a desk, a Dollar Tree desk with a cash register, a nameplate, and behind that desk was a figure, sitting, facing down, hands folded perfectly, like he'd been waiting for her shift to start. Kayla whispered, Sir? The figure didn't respond, but the air around him felt wrong, heavy, like standing too close to a thunderstorm that never breaks. Her phone buzzed. She didn't want to look, but she did. Unknown. Kayla, listen very carefully. Your eyes are the only thing he needs to copy. Do not look at his face. Kayla pressed the phone to her chest, heart thundering. She approached slowly, staring at the floor, refusing to lift her gaze. All she saw were his shoes, old, worn, covered in some gray dust. Kayla whispered, I'm here to leave. I'm done. I'm clocking out. The figure exhaled slowly, a long rattling sound that vibrated through the floor. Then, in a whisper that sounded like paper tearing, he said, Kayla, look at me. Her entire body tensed. She shook her head. No, I'm fine right here. The voice sharpened. Look at me. Kayla squeezed her eyes shut, so tight tears leaked out. Please, she whispered. I just want to go home. Silence. The figure stood up. The sound of his limbs straightening was like wood cracking. He stepped from behind the desk. Heavy, slow, too tall. Way too tall. Kayla kept her eyes on the ground. She saw only his shadow stretching toward her. A long, twisted shape that didn't match human proportions. The shadow reached her feet. He leaned close. His icy breath brushed her cheek. Then he whispered, softer now, almost gentle. If you won't look at me, let me look at you. Cold fingers, bony, jointed wrong, lifted her chin. Her eyes started to rise against her will. No, no, no. Something inside her screamed to run. At the last second, Kayla jerked away, stumbling backward. The original manager's tone dropped into a monstrous growl. You will look at me. The lights exploded above them. The metal door behind him shook like something massive pounded from the other side. Kayla ran for the door, slamming her shoulder into it. It didn't budge. Her phone buzzed violently. She opened it with shaking hands. Unknown. Kayla. The exit is inside his office. Kayla turned and saw, carved into the floor behind his desk, a trapdoor, her only shot. The original manager stepped between her and the desk, blocking it. He whispered, "Clock in, or stay forever." Then he reached for her. Kayla's heartbeat went loud. Too loud, like her own body was warning her she had seconds left. The original manager towered over her, his shadow swallowing the floor. She couldn't see his face, but she felt his stare, heavy and cold, like it was crawling across her skin. He stretched out his hand, long fingers, too long, like broken pens someone glued back together. "Kayla," he whispered, "clock in." She backed up until her spine hit the metal wall. There was no more space, nowhere to run. Her phone buzzed again, fast, urgent, almost panicked. Unknown. "Kayla, listen to me. You can't fight him. You can't outrun him. You can only outsmart him." Kayla whispered. "How?" Another message popped up instantly. "He needs your fear to finish the copy. Stop giving it to him." Stop giving fear? In this situation? That was like telling someone falling off a building to just hover. But she didn't have another choice. Kayla inhaled shakily and did the one thing she never thought she'd try. She stood up straighter. She forced her breaths slow, quiet, steady. She stopped shaking. The air shifted. The original manager hesitated. Just slightly. Kayla whispered, "I'm not scared of you." That was a lie. A fat, obvious lie. But the hallway responded anyway. The lights steadied. The air warmed. The manager's breathing changed. Uncertain. Confused. She took a step toward him. Her voice was small but steady. "You said I was an employee. Okay, then fire me." The manager froze completely. Everything went silent. Even the monsters pounding upstairs, the clicking dolls, the crawling shadows. All of it stopped. Kayla continued, louder this time. "I quit." The manager's body jerked, hard, like the words broke something ancient inside him. He staggered back, and Kayla bolted toward the desk. The trapdoor, the exit, was right behind it, carved into the floor. The manager roared, the sound shaking the entire basement. "You can't quit." He lunged, faster than anything that size should move. Kayla dove under the desk, fingers scrambling for the trapdoor handle. She found it, pulled hard. It didn't open. Her phone buzzed one last time. Unknown. "Say it, Kayla, out loud, all of it." The manager's fingers curled around the desk edge, ripping into the wood. Kayla screamed, "I quit! I don't work here! I never worked here! Let me go!" Something snapped. A sharp, echoing sound that wasn't physical. The apron around her neck loosened, then fell off on its own. The trapdoor unlocked with a loud metallic clack. She yanked it open and dropped, falling into darkness. The manager's roar shook the floor as the trapdoor slammed shut above her. Kayla tumbled down a cold chute, sliding, spinning, until she landed in a pile of cardboard boxes. She sat up and froze. She was outside, behind the store, in the alley. City, lights above her, cars in the distance, normal sounds. She was out. Her phone vibrated gently. A final message, unknown. Good job, Kayla. You clocked out, for now. She exhaled, shaking, crying, laughing all at once. Then her phone buzzed again. A new notification popped up. Dollar Tree, night shift. Your next shift starts soon, 12 a.m. Status, auto-assigned. Kayla stared at it. No. Please. Please, no. The screen glitched. Her reflection in the black glass blinked, but she didn't. Then her reflection smiled. The end.